All righty. Welcome back to Roanoke Live. We want to welcome on two very special guests, Dan Johnson and Mark Dye, two of the creators of Screamiverse. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're getting super pumped for the event. We're getting pretty close to it. I know you guys are probably chomping at the bit for it too a little bit. Long time coming. So we wanted to have you guys on to just get to know you a little bit, maybe dive a little bit further into it. So why don't we start by getting to know you guys just a little bit. Dan, how about you give us a little bit? You work here at the Berkeley Center. We could start there.
That's true.
But you're a jack of all trades, though, right?
Well, I won't go over everything, but first and foremost, I'm a retired electronics and animatronics instructor, robotics. I taught at Franklin County for 30 years, and I retired from there. And as you mentioned, I'm an event supervisor, and I also work for Union here at the Berglund Center. And on the side, I build animatronics for various companies.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Anything else? At Screamiverse.
We'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
at Screamiverse.
And one of the owners of Screamiverse. Yes.
Yes.
What about you, Mark?
So, Mark Dye. I work for the city of Roanoke. I'm a systems coordinator in the human resources department. Kind of a fun contrast to a spooky convention.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
I love that.
But yeah, I work for the city of Roanoke. I'm also a graphic designer, illustrator. You can find me online, Mark Munster Arts. You can see my work there.
Cool.
Also, for the past 13 years, I've helped. I'm one of the folks that runs Hex Haunted Attraction. So one of our sponsors, one of the folks bringing Screamiverse to Roanoke. We've been doing that for 14 years in the area, but I've been with that team for 13 years, doing
Wow.
everything initially from acting, then getting into more of I'll call it haunt craft. The things behind the scenes for making a haunted house operate and work.
That's awesome.
And now we do so many things, actor training, set design, costumes.
Wow.
You name it. It's all part of putting that show on. So yeah, that's what I do.
So two modern Renaissance man is what we have
Yeah.
on the podcast. Geez, I need to do more with my life. I don't know about you, Tiffany. I don't know if I have enough going on.
I do a lot. I do a lot outside.
So you're leaving me
you
out
gotta get on
below.
our level,
Oh, that's fair.
So speaking of Screamiverse, what inspired your team to start Screamiverse, and tell us how the idea came to be.
Well, so it started with me. I had just finished working with Blue Ridge Nightmares, our last year with them. And I recently retired as a teacher, teaching electronics and robotics. But I've had this vision in my head for about 10 years of doing some type of haunt convention. And a mutual friend of ours connected us. It's with our other partner, Tim, with
Okay.
Hex Haunted Attractions. And so our mutual friend got us together. We went out for dinner, and Tim brought Mark along. This is the first time I met Mark, was at that dinner. And we just sat around at the table and started talking about my vision. And it turns out that Tim and Mark also had that same vision.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're haunt enthusiasts and convention enthusiasts, and that was a little over a year ago, and everything just blended well together, meshed together, and you are about to see a year's worth of planning and hard work, which we call Screamiverse Expo.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Dan had this idea because we at part of the haunted house world, we do a lot of conventions. Trans World that takes place in St. Louis every year. Tim helped operate a haunted attraction convention called Fear Expo that was out of Owensburg, Kentucky. And me, I've been going to horror conventions for most of my adult life. Probably for the past 20 years. I've been going to conventions in Charlotte, Richmond. So I've been as far as Chicago. And the idea was always, wow, it'd be really cool if we had something like this in Roanoke.
Yeah.
Something that we wouldn't have to travel 3-4 hours for. We could bring it here and have that type of event in the New River Valley. because we had never seen something like that here before.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, that'd be really cool. And yeah, sure enough, Dan had the same thoughts brewing.
And the idea that I've been working here at the Berglund Center, hard to believe now, going on 24 years,
wow, yeah.
and having done so many shows and everything else, and working with wonderful staff members like you guys, we just thought it was a great opportunity to bring it here to the Roanoke Valley.
Right. Yeah. You kind of saw what it takes to run the event from the inside. So that probably got your wheels turning. Like, it made the idea a little bit more tangible, I bet, at being around events that much.
I think the part that made it the easiest is everybody's talent just kind of blended together perfectly.
Right.
So we had everything we needed.
Yeah, it sounds like that dinner was magical.
Yeah.
You guys were like really connecting. That's awesome to be a fly on the wall there, because
Was a magical salad.
yeah,
Magical salad.
because from talking to you guys are also passionate about it, right?
Very.
So getting you guys in the same room, you were probably like, wow, it's really nice to see people that share this passion of this space right here. So I'm glad you guys were able to have that dinner. And you mentioned Hex, and I bet one of the other things that was integral in getting this off the ground is getting sponsors and giving you sort of that foundation. So can you talk to us about some of the sponsors you guys have for these events?
Sure. That's been something that we've been really, really fortunate with. As you know, we've had some great sponsors that have been interested in the event, that have had that trust in us to be able to promote their product, and they've, with that trust, they've been able to give us some provide us with the ability to create some of the events and things
Right.
that we're going to be doing. So we've been super fortunate and thankful for the folks that did say, hey, that sounds really cool. That sounds fun. We want to be part of it. We made a list here of some of
Yeah,
we wanted
let's
to
hear
make
'em.
sure that
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
recognized everyone that
For sure.
because again we're so grateful and so thankful that they came through to help us, because we have, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it eventually, we have some really unique and interesting and fun things that we're doing as part of this convention, and I'm super excited about that. But some of our sponsors, Hamler Funeral Home and Crematory.
That's a fun sponsor.
Yeah.
It ties in perfect.
Yeah.
It ties in perfectly with us, right? Renewal by Anderson.
Oh, okay.
With as Hagee's Towing is another one of our sponsors. Beard and Shears Barbershop. Brian Cox Photography came forward pretty early on to be a sponsor for our cosplay contest.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, he'll be providing part of the prize package for that, so that's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Of course, our friends here at the Berglund Center.
Yeah.
So grateful for that, and Hex Haunted Attraction. So we have a group of folks. A lot of those are here in the New River Valley, businesses local to what we're doing. So we're so excited for that.
Yeah.
we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we are so grateful for their support.
Well, I think it is because they meet you guys and they know how much passion about you you guys have for it, because it takes a lot of trust for somebody to sponsor an event that's never happened. And I think it's because it's a testament to you guys, because they trust that basically they're trusting in you to do it. So that's kind of the impression that I got it. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about this event, because I know Tiffany, when she heard when we were having this event, she got pumped about it.
It's right up my alley.
This is right up
So,
Tiffany's alley.
Yeah, it's everything I talk about like every day and on the podcast too. So.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. What can people expect to see at Screamiverse this year?
Okay, get ready. We have a jam-packed, fun-full weekend here. And this is just, some of the highlights. We have 13 special guests where you're going to have photo opportunities and autographs, but including but not limited to Tony Moran, the original Michael Myers.
That's awesome.
Yep.
From John Carpenter's
Wow.
Halloween. We've got Nancy Ann Ritter from Wes Craven's movie Scream.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to have the original Jeepers Creepers truck from the movie Jeepers Creepers.
Heck yeah.
We're going to have the Green Goblin head and Pat Miller from Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive movie.
Awesome.
And many other special guests. But we also have over 100 vendors coming here, authors, artists, music, toys, props, oddities, clothing, so much more. But the thing that I want to point out is a majority of these authors have never been to the Roanoke Valley, so they're coming here for the very first time.
That's awesome.
And they're coming from all over. We're going to have panel discussions and workshops such as paranormal investigations with Twisted Productions. We've got special effects artists, movie artists like Eric De La Vega, who used to work with The Walking Dead and the Predator series.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have a strongman presentation from stuntman actor Todd Jones. We have tarot classes offered by Madam Adam and a horror trivia game that's going to be done with Marie Lestrange. And another part that my partner here is going to discuss that he's very passionate about, actually we both are, but I mean he's the one that put in most of the legwork on this, is our film festival. So I'm going to let him talk about that.
Sure. We're going to be doing a film showcase that'll be taking place over both days, all day long. These are movies that have been submitted to us from filmmakers from all over the U.S.
Oh, cool.
Showing some interest in sharing their work for to horror fans in our area. In some cases, we have some of these filmmakers are letting us be their Virginia premiere for their films.
That's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan. I love.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mel Brooks. I also love that classic era of horror movies like Ed Wood and just black and white classic horror. We have a filmmaker who, it's a movie called Vampire Zombies, period, from space. And it's a throwback to that Ed Wood era of horror. It's so funny and just one of the most unique and original movies that I've personally seen in so long. I was so excited that they were allowing us to be the Virginia premiere.
Wow.
We also have a short film from Jonathan Dilworth. It's called Howl If You Love Me. It's an animation. Jonathan Dilworth is the creator of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
It goes by Dilly. Dilly's going to be allowing us to screen that. He's been really excited about the event too, and us being able to share that with the Screamiverse audience. So, the schedule for that will be up really soon. Again, it's movies all day, so
Wow.
I am absolutely stoked on that. It's going to be great.
Well, actually, and some of our guests are in some of the movies like Nancy Ann with the other one.
That's right, Nancy Ann. There's folks that you'll definitely recognize. Joe Bob Briggs from the last Drive-In.
Oh, yeah.
He's in one of the films, and Judith O'Dea. Judith O'Dea played Barbara in the original Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
She stars, which is probably like one of the most iconic lines. It is the most iconic line in all zombie movies. What's like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. That's
you nailed it.
Absolutely classic. So we have some folks that in these films that people will recognize and will love to see, especially if you're a fan of like cult horror, indie horror. We're hoping that Screamiverse will be your home for that. You'll find that here in the future. Some of our guests, indie horror guests, some that are doing just amazing things, rising stars, I would say. As you can tell, I'm really excited.
No, that's
everybody
something I
should be excited about that. That's pretty awesome. I mean, these are films that they probably wouldn't be able to have access to otherwise, too, like some of the shorter films. And like you said, that's such a special thing that you're getting to show them at Screamiverse. So
yeah, that's something I didn't know, and I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to hear about the logistics of how that's going to work, and is it going to be in its own like separate room, or
it will. We're going to be doing it in Berglund Hall.
Okay.
In Parlor C.
Gotcha.
Is where it's going to be located.
That is so fun.
Yeah, I've had some experience with other conventions and I guess logistically how some of the other conventions run their fest. With us, it's not necessarily a film fest this year. I would love to see it expand to that in the future, where we could get submissions and categories and do the whole review and judge and have an award ceremony.
Oh yeah, I could see that one day.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
This year, we just want to try to provide I'll say the most interesting and coolest horror films that we were able to find.
Right.
That we could partner up with those filmmakers and say, hey, you know, we love this movie. Let us show it to a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And they've been excited too. We've had just great feedback from, you know, we try to do spotlights with things with our vendors, with our sponsors. You know, we want to make sure that the folks who, again, we talk about trust, you know, the folks that are trusting us with this event, that we're giving them that exposure and let them know, hey, we're very thankful that you're going to be part of our first show.
Right, right.
Let's let people see you. Let's share the art that you're making so that people know how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Dan, before we go on, I want to hear more about the strongman competition.
Yeah.
Like, do you have the details for that yet? That jumped out to me when you said that.
Well,
Or are we not ready to talk about that yet?
we're not ready to talk about that yet because I'm going to let Mark talk about that
under
too.
wraps.
Okay.
But I will say this, just so the people know, let's be clear, with your ticket into Screamiverse, viewing all those movies, it's free.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a
All
good
weekend.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the things.
right.
So everything that we're talking about, you know, again, a fun-filled weekend, it's all free.
Yeah. Okay, that is a good point.
But we will get to the strong.
Okay.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
Some other things that are going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We have tattooing and piercing on site.
Oh, that's
for the
right,
weekend
yep.
as well. All day, both days. You don't have to make an appointment. You could come by. They'll have flash designs available that you could just go up, pick it off the sheet, find something spooky, get a tattoo that day. We love that we're doing piercing as well. You know, that's something that, you know, even with tattoo conventions, you know, that I've been to. That you don't see as much piercing, so I'm glad that we have that on site as well. But if there is something specific that you want, you know, if you're like, hey, maybe I want something, you know, that maybe would not be on that flash sheet. Your folks that are going to be guests of, you know, coming to Screamiverse Expo, they can reach out to those artists. We have their email
Oh,
and
okay.
contact
That's good to
information
know.
on Screamiverse.com. If you go there, you can reach out to those artists and,
Okay.
and ask for something special, and you know they'd love to hear from folks coming. But we have. For the artists that are coming, we have Livewire Tattoo from Blacksburg, Virginia. They are some of just the most amazing traditional and neo-traditional artists in the area. Just bold, bright, solid tattoos all day. We love the work they do. They're actually bringing their whole shop, to the convention that day. So we love it. We love it. They're supporting us, and we want to give that support right back. So,
Right.
so we love those guys. We also have a couple folks coming from out of town. We have Coco Rodriguez from Indiana. His shop is called House of 1,000 Needles. So it's a horror reference.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
these two artists that are coming into town saw that it was a horror convention, and they were like, "Sign me up!"
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were chomping at the bits. Like, here's our application. Say yes now, please. We want to be part of this.
That's awesome.
The other one's Jonathan Swiney. He's from Ravenmacher Tattoo. They're in Tennessee, Southeast Tennessee.
Okay.
So yeah, they're driving up from there to be part of the show.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So again, this is something that people wouldn't see normally locally, you know. So
Right.
we're bringing it in.
We've got more. You want to
Yeah.
hear more?
Yeah, I do, because
Yeah.
this is getting
Great.
me excited. Like, this is like, wow, you guys have a lot. This
Yeah,
is
a
a lot
lot.
of different stuff.
It was one of the things that Dan and I, we've talked about it multiple times. We said that, you know, we want to swing for the fences. We want to
Yeah.
make this, you know, if we have a cool idea, if we have something that we think that would be fun for ticket holders, let's do it. You know,
Yeah.
like, is it a lot of work? Yeah. Have we slept much? No. No, we haven't. Are we maybe a little tired, a little stressed out? No. No, but we no, we love it. You know, we every time we come up with something that could set us apart and make us, like something maybe a little different, something where someone will be like, wow, that's weird. We love it. Like, we're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
weirder the better, right?
But on Saturday night, for ticket holders, so included in the price of your ticket, we knew that people would be coming in from out of town, and that instead of going back and spending the night at your hotel, we wanted to have an after-hours event. So
Okay.
we are doing a show. It's going to be held at Terra Manor. Our friends over there were gracious enough to let us use their queue line area, the midway. That it's a very large area. They have a stage there, so we're going to be using that for Saturday night, and we're doing a show. We have 3 bands that'll be joining us. And if anybody listening to this, if I explain these bands and I explain them poorly, and you're like, how dare you say that? How dare you say that band sounds that way?
Yeah.
I'm using my own words, right? So I'm gonna say something here. It's gonna maybe. I hope it doesn't get me a lot.
No,
of
no,
hate.
no,
gosh.
no.
I am.
We got
an-
forgiving fans.
I am a pop punk and emo fan, so a lot of times like aggressive heavy music, I love it. It's awesome. It sounds so cool, but I have like a limited number of bands I can use.
Yeah,
So
Fair.
that's fine.
we have Magus the Giant, and these are regional bands. Magus the Giant's from this area, from Roanoke. They're like a sludge metal band, like super cool. If you like the band Clutch, you're gonna like them. Just heavy, loud. If you want something to keep your ears ringing all night, they're going to be the band to do it.
Tiffany's ears are perking up.
Yeah, I'm like,
Absolutely amazing. With these bands too, you can find their information on social media. Like if you want to hear, get a preview of what you're going to hear, you can find it. We also have Wolf Biker. Wolf Biker is a kind of like a metalcore band. I would say like if you like the band Kill Switch Engage, you'll probably be really into those guys. They're so good. I'm stoked to see them. And our last band is a horror punk band. So if you're a fan,
That's awesome.
if you're a
Yeah.
fan of the Misfits, you'll love these guys. It's Late Night Zero. Again, all 3 are regional bands. They're going to be playing for our guests that night. So again, it's included with your ticket. So if you have a ticket, don't go home. Come out and enjoy the show.
Yeah, and that's close
Wow.
to Berglund Center too, so it's not a far, like I said, just a hop, skip, and a jump that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah, so
that's
close.
awesome.
Wow, that's some real value. You
Yeah,
got a show too.
for real.
Well, there's more to that.
And there's
Well,
more.
there's more.
Always more.
Love it.
You could go to the concert, and then right after that too, our friends at Terra Manor are opening up their haunt there.
Oh,
So
man,
with the
right.
Screamiverse ticket, you could get a reduced ticket to go through their haunt. So they're actually opening up the haunt for us,
Wow.
for
That's
all the
awesome.
people that go to Screamiverse.
So what time does the show start on that Saturday?
It starts at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll probably go into around 11 p.m.
Okay.
So you can get in bed early to come back bright. and
Yeah,
early on
right. You
Sunday.
got a big
Yeah.
day the next
Yep.
day, right?
You don't want to miss anything. You want to come both days. You
Right.
don't want to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there again, there's more. We have some of the local area haunted houses are actually exhibiting at the convention as well. So if you are interested with this event, one of the things that we envision this as being sort of the halfway to Halloween event. So this is kind of, with all of us, haunters, we like that. We like to be able to celebrate spooky things in the middle of the year. So this is kind of our halfway to Halloween celebration. So the haunted houses from the areas, they're exhibiting. They're going to have folks set up to talk about the 2025 season. If you're interested in
Okay.
volunteering, if you want to hear about some of the cool things that the haunted houses have planned, they'll be set up there. Probably some folks in costume for photo ops. Come by, you'll see some awesome things. But that's Terra Manor. We have the Orchard Hill Haunt. It's a home haunt here in the Roanoke area, right, Dan?
Yeah, and all of the proceeds, they ask for donations, and all of their proceeds go to the animal shelters.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we love those guys. They, they're very supportive of the haunted houses in this area, so we're stoked to have them at the show. And of course, finally, Hexed Haunted Attraction. We'll be there talking about the 2025 season. We've got a lot of stuff planned, so we're happy about sharing that.
And you don't know this, but just announced today,
Oh.
another haunted attraction, New River Valley Prison, has
Oh,
reached out to
wow.
us.
Oh, okay.
So now they're coming. I'm
That's-
just, yeah.
That's excellent news.
Breaking news.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
That
just
you heard
growing.
it.
It's
Yeah.
just growing.
Wow.
They are
Yeah.
new to the area,
Yep.
and we were fortunate enough to be able to go see them this season. We had an off night due to weather, and we were like, let's go see another haunted house in the area since we weren't able to operate that night, and we loved it. It was so much fun. They have a really unique property. It's I think that it's actually an old prison.
Oh, wow.
They do paranormal investigations there. It might be haunted, so it makes that property a lot of fun to have. You get in there in the darkness and you start having ideas like, what was that, an actor, or
Yeah,
is it-
that's
is-
kind of creepy.
Is it something else?
Wow.
And the owners are so sweet, and I'm a yapper, so I had a chance to chat about. They've operated haunted houses, in other areas and brought it here, and we've got a pretty cool haunted house community here in New River Valley. There's, if you think about, from Roanoke, in a 30-mile area, there's probably 5 or 6 haunted houses that you could go to in a season. So, we're kind of a tight-knit family, and look out for each other and try to promote each other anytime we can. So just a couple notes. We love those guys. Just wanted to-
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely.
It's like a family.
Yeah. Got one more thing for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We've got, on Sunday, we're going to be having our first annual cosplay contest.
Okay.
That's something that we're putting a lot of work into. We know that that folks are going to be excited, like the regional cosplayers, to maybe come and show like their horror and science fiction, or maybe like dark fantasy costumes, to maybe show like a different characters and things that maybe they don't like. It's like, hey, I've got this, but now this is horror, so let me show you my Silent Hill costume,
Right.
or
Yeah.
let me show you my Leatherface or whatever. It's like we're so stoked to see
Yeah.
what people bring. But we for the top cosplays, there'll be prizes.
Heck yeah.
A cash prize, also a trophy for those top cosplays, and a photo package from Brian Cox Photography.
Yeah,
so
BC Photography.
Yes, so that BC Photography is going to provide a photo package, and I think that the value on that's like $180 or something. So yeah,
For each one.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he's doing it for first, second, and third place.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it's if you're hearing this, if you have a spooky costume, please bring it. We'd love to
Right.
see it.
Yeah.
We have a pre-registration up on Screamiverse.com. Sign up. We can't wait.
Heck yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, I yapped a lot about it, but we have so much. We really packed in a lot to our show, so we're just really excited about it.
No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a lot of stuff. So, you guys are fans first. We established that. So, out of all those things that you mentioned, what are you guys personally most excited to do?
I think the part that I'm most excited about, as Mark and I have just shared, obviously, you see that we're putting a lot into this thing. So the part that I'm excited about is just bringing something new to the Roanoke Valley
Yeah.
for people to experience. We've put a lot of time, sleepless nights, into this thing, but you don't have to be a fan of horror movies to come to this. That's something that everybody, it's a horror sci-fi convention, but we have over 100 vendors. We have the movies, we've got panels, So I think you remember, this is a vision of mine. I've been planning this for 10 years. So this is something that's brand new for Roanoke. It's going to be different. You've never experienced this before, and that's the part I'm the most excited about. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Mark?
I agree with Dan. I think more specifically, though, right? Like we're excited for all of our guests, but you mentioned earlier the Strongman show.
yeah,
Yeah.
Todd.
There you go. It's your
There
time.
you go.
That is
Rob.
something that's going to be at noon on Saturday.
Okay.
Um,
Mark your calendars for sure.
Mark the calendar. It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's not something I've ever seen at a convention before.
Yeah.
Whenever it was suggested to us, we were like, wow, that sounds like insane. Like, yeah, yes, let's do it. That'll be a lot of fun. Todd Jones, he's a stunt actor. but he is also a strong man. But he was recognized in Ripley's Believe It or Not. He has a trick that he does. Again, we can't give away too
Yeah,
much.
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
You definitely have to come see it. But there's a trick that he did that's recognized in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
That's awesome.
If you want to seek it out, he's in the printed books. So we were talking about how cool that is, like growing up. The Ripley's Believe It or Not
Oh
show.
yeah. Oh yeah. I used to watch it all the time.
That, like Unsolved Mysteries, like that was part of some of the things that were kind of parallel to horror movies. That I just loved it as a kid, and knowing that he was in Ripley's, I was like, "You've got me. I have to see it."
Yeah, wow.
It's gonna be so much fun. I have to see it.
And the other thing is, he doesn't normally do conventions.
Oh, okay.
So this is really the first time for him coming out here. So again, we're super. He's also a motivational speaker, So he does that, but he's never really done horror conventions or anything like
Wow.
that. So it's going to be the first time right here in Roanoke.
He's been practicing for the event. If you go to Todd Jones to his social media, you'll see some videos of him tearing books in half, practicing for our event.
Oh my
That's funny.
goodness.
So he's bringing his best strongman feats to
Bringing his A game.
to Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
He's tearing books already. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's
I love it.
awesome.
So you guys mentioned you guys are going to have some really special guests there. Who are you guys each most excited for? So Dan, I'll let you answer first. I know it's hard to choose. It is so hard to choose, but if you had to choose.
That's a real difficult question. I'm just excited about everything that we're bringing. I really can't single anything out specifically. It's so diverse. It's not one particular guest. It's everything. But the most important guests of all are the people. The people that are coming to it.
I love it.
As much work as Mark and our team have put into this. It's kind of like a movie premiere or a opening night at Broadway. You're nothing without the audience, and so the special guests for us are the people coming to the show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love
Absolutely.
that answer.
All right. Well, let's get to know you guys a little bit. Okay. So let's do some. Tiffany, we got some questions for him, right?
Yes, we do.
Let's get to know Dan a little bit. What's the first question we got from him?
So, what's your favorite horror movie? I'm asking you a lot. I know you got to single them out. And it's so hard. This is a hard question.
We won't hold you to it. If you change your mind in the
Yeah.
next 5 minutes, you reserve that right.
All right. So many to choose from, but gosh, if I had to narrow it down, I would have to go with the Conjuring series.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
I'm a huge history buff.
Okay.
And the fact that those movies are based on Ed and Lorraine Warren, and so it's all based on fact and their stories and investigations, and we try to tie a lot of it into Screamiverse, and so because of that, and because of my fascination with it. We're actually bringing in paranormal investigators, clairvoyants, tarot readers. So
That's awesome.
it kind of all ties into my love of the Conjuring series.
Yeah, it's all the
I
one and
love
the
it.
same, right?
Yeah. Mark, what about you?
I'm with Dan that it's almost an impossible question.
It is.
All right. Well, give us like the first three that come to your
Sure.
head.
It's like for me, it's either I'm watching Love Is Blind or horror movies, right? It's like-
I love
it's
the
a big
contrast.
big contrast there, right? But my favorite genre of horror films is horror anthologies.
Okay.
So things where you maybe have multiple stories told within a movie or growing up. My favorite TV show was Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah.
So Tales from the Crypt was something that I looked forward to watching it every week. It was the Crypt Keeper was so funny
Oh,
and just
yeah.
ridiculous, and those little bite-sized shows, just over week to week. But for a movie, I really love Creepshow. It's an anthology. It's directed by it's directed by George Romero, written by Stephen King. So you have like who are probably arguably like the masters of the genre.
Yep.
So you have them, but with Creepshow, Eric De La Vega, who we mentioned earlier, he worked as an artist on the reboot that was maybe a couple years ago of the series. I think it's on either Shudder or AMC.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was such a good, I guess, redo of the movie into that kind of Tales from the Crypt format, where you had like week to week kind
Right.
of episodic, anthology horror. And it's cool. Yeah, Eric worked on that, and we're super stoked to have him. And it's one of my favorites. So yeah, it kind of all ties in there.
What about you, Tiffany? I'm gonna throw it on you real quick.
Oh boy. Okay, well I'm gonna go actually very new. I don't know if anybody's seen Heart Eyes. It just came out. I actually really liked it. I'm a big slasher film girl, so that was, I don't know, I don't want to like spoil it for anybody, but I just loved it. It was a good mixture of, I didn't think I was going to like the rom-com part of it, and I did. It was kind of sappy, but at the same time, it was really, some of the kills in there were so gory, it was insane. It was just like
I
two
love
sides
that.
of a different coin. It really threw me for a loop. I went in with very low expectations and came out loving it, so.
That's a unique.
Yeah, I would say that is one you guys have to see when it comes out.
The feedback's been amazing. They say
Yeah.
that you have kind of a new slasher added to the
Yep.
to the group of classic slashers. They say that it was amazing. That he's you will see another Hard Eyes movie.
I love his
That's
light
awesome.
up. He's got light up heart eyes.
Really?
Yes. So
I have to check this out.
Yeah,
This sounds
and-
Check
pretty
that out,
cool.
too.
yeah, some of the kills were just insane. Because
Really?
with the like lovey part, like there's like two different sides of the story going on. Like there's
Uh-huh.
one side. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just so crazy because some of those kills just threw me for a loop because I was like, they were just being all cute.
Yeah.
And somebody just died. Like
It's a
this
great
is-
Valentine's movie,
It
right?
was. It was so good. I loved it.
Great for
So-
Valentine's Day.
That's awesome. I'm gonna
Yeah,
check that
yeah.
out.
So,
No, you go ahead.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I was gonna ask you guys if you guys could bring any like horror icon, real or fictional. It can be fake, so it can be a slasher. Like it could be a Jason if you want.
You gotta be careful there.
Yeah, you got to be careful though. We don't want people to get killed. To the convention, who would it be and why? And Mark, I'll let you start first.
Okay.
With this.
So my dream convention guest would be Elvira.
Okay.
There we go.
Great pick.
Elvira is, there've been a lot of horror show hosts. I mentioned earlier, Joe Bob Briggs does The Last Drive-In. Whenever I see that's coming on Shudder, I always watch it. He's so entertaining, so funny. But Elvira, I grew up on Elvira, and Cassandra Peterson, who plays is just such a cool and just thoughtful and fun person, and. I think it would be amazing, Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, if you're listening. Screamiverse 2026.
Yeah, I love it.
We're requesting you. We need you. Please come.
Put out the signal.
Cool. All right, Dan. What about you?
This one's kind of sad for me. And the reason why is because I was actually pursuing this person, and unfortunately, he passed away last November.
Oh,
And that is Tony Todd.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Have you all seen the movie Candyman?
Yes.
I have.
Okay.
Great movie.
It's a great movie. Tony Todd is an incredible actor. He has so many credits to his career and whatnot. And in the movie Candyman, I saw an interview with him about this, and there is a scene where he opens up his mouth and all these bees just merge.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't know is that was real.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
There's no stunt double. There's no CGI.
That's wild.
He actually,
Crazy.
He actually had all of those bees in his mouth,
Holy-
and when they come out,
gosh.
and they put a screen around to protect everybody else.
Yeah, besides the guy with the bees in his
Yeah,
Wow.
he got stung 23 times for doing that
Oh,
scene.
my
And
gosh.
in the interview, they were asking him about it, and he said that he was, old school acting, and he said you had to do what you had to do in order to get
Wow.
the scene.
Yep.
And that's, to me, that's just dedication to the art.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
You wouldn't see that anymore.
No.
That's
No
CGI
way.
at this point.
but I was reaching out to him and everything, and it was unfortunate. When we were working on Screamiverse and all that, he was my first go-to person.
Wow.
And then, unfortunately, he passed away last November. So, rest in peace, Tony. But you were the one that I was pursuing.
Wow,
So-
that's a crazy story.
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. How many takes do you think they only got one take out
One
of that?
take.
Yeah,
One take.
I would say probably
Wow.
it's probably a little traumatizing after the first time.
yeah, right. You
Yeah.
you better get the shot if you're the director
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely.
Well, how about for you guys? Who do you want to see for
Yeah.
Screamiverse in
Oh
2026?
man, I already know my.
You go first,
You gotta
Tiffany.
give us some ideas
Okay,
now.
Yeah.
I love Kyle Gallner. He's been in a lot of the newer. He was in the first Haunting Connecticut as the boy that had
Yeah.
cancer, and then he's been in the Smile movies. So if you guys happen to bring, oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do. He's like my favorite horror actor ever.
Take note down.
Yep.
Yes, he's
Yep.
writing them down. All right, Rob.
Well, I don't go as deep as you guys. Admittedly, I'm glad you didn't ask me my favorite horror movie because it would have been something real basic that you guys might have laughed at me about. But I love the movie props. Like you guys getting the Jeepers Creepers car
Yeah.
Yep.
is super cool to me. So like I love movies. So just like I don't know if there's something specific, maybe like the Predator head or like the alien, like the costumes that like that you could see in real life. That's the type of stuff that I like to see. I like the
We have something super fun
Yeah.
coming.
Yep.
We haven't announced it yet, but very soon we're going to be announcing one of our friends from another convention is going to be bringing their Ecto One. So it's a replica Ecto One. So if you're a Ghostbusters fan,
yeah. Wow.
There you go, Rob.
we too enjoy large movie props, like
Yeah.
being involved in haunted houses. Whenever you see something like a big horror prop, a big haunted house prop, you're like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
we want that. We want
That
to. We
is
want to
so
put it.
cool.
So, yeah, we were so excited that we're going to have an Ecto One at the event. So yeah, not just Jeepers Creepers, Maximum Overdrive, Ghostbusters will be represented now as well.
That is super
Yes.
cool.
That is awesome.
Well, you guys talked about, I think the common theme of this is how much passion you guys have for this event. And you mentioned the sleepless nights, but you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't having fun. So like, what has been the most, I hate to say, I don't want to say satisfying because that's going to happen when the event happens. So leading up to it, what's been the most fun part of creating Screamiverse?
Oh gosh. First and foremost, that vision of mine, 10 years, thinking about this and seeing it come to fruition and, reaching out to all the vendors, and they have been super, super nice. They want to help us. They want to do this. They realize that this is our first time doing it.
Right.
And they're taking a chance on us. So that, and then working with the special guests that are all coming. But as you have heard repeatedly during this podcast, how much we're offering, and every time that we're talking about it or we're meeting, it's just like, let's do this, or
Right.
let's add this. You think we could do it? And yeah, let's go for it. Let's and we've built up this. I don't want to say monster, but this magnificent.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
event.
Yeah.
It's probably like every time you get one, you're like, yes, there's another one.
So it's just for me the part that I'm super excited about it is just seeing it all come together.
Yeah.
But I think next April, in April, watching the people walking through and experiencing it themselves, that's going to be the icing on the cake.
Oh,
for me.
yeah.
It really
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So
What about you, Mark?
Sure. I agree with everything that Dan said. I think one of the things that's been the most fun are those relationships that we're making with those creators, those artists, the guests. It's being able to meet other people with a passion for spooky things, for horror,
Right.
for science fiction, those kind of things that are kind of like counterculture kind of arts, or it's all very punk rock, and we love it. And meeting those people with those just really cool ideas and having them be part of this is just so much fun. Like to be able to say, we have these type of movies, or, here's an artist that does, we were talking about Herschel Brewer. Who's one of our vendors. We've met Herschel at a couple other events, but Herschel's a retired teacher as well.
That's
Is that right?
right.
Does art, I believe full time, does art now, does the most amazing, just intricate, just if you're familiar with H.P. Lovecraft, his art looks like what I imagine H.P. Lovecraft books would look like on paper. He's just so creative, and he's the nicest person ever. Just always promoting the convention, and
He was the first one to sign up.
first person to sign up.
Very first
and
person.
Wow.
He's not the only one. Like we've just developed great relationships with these vendors and our special guest and the bands, and it's just we're just creating a big Screamiverse family, and that's for me that's the most fun, is having just a big Southwest Virginia spooky family right here,
I love that.
right,
Yeah, me too.
right in our backyard.
Heck yeah. Well, did we miss anything? We covered a lot of stuff. I know. Is there anything you guys wanted to specifically mention? Because I know you got a lot to offer. If you guys are interested in this event, make sure you're checking out our socials. Your
Yeah,
guys' socials too.
Yeah.
They're constantly putting out new vendors. By the time this podcast comes out, I'm sure you guys will have another 3 that we didn't mention. It's forever changing with you guys. It's just amazing what you guys have been able to do in the first year too. Like that's the craziest part. Is like this is the first time this event's happened. It hasn't even happened yet. So I say that to ask anything that we missed.
Well, there's a couple things that I'd like to add.
Yeah.
We're really proud of what we're putting on, and we're also trying to give back to the community.
Okay.
So immediately when we were talking about this, it's not just trying to give Roanoke an opportunity to see something new, but we also want to give back to the community. So we partnered up with the Blood Connection.
Okay.
And so what they're going to do is they're going to have the blood drive vehicle out front. We're also having food trucks out there, so they're going to have the Blood Connection out there, and people can donate blood both days, Saturday and Sunday, and they can receive a $30 gift card that will help pay for their ticket. Or at least get reimbursed for it. But another thing is they were talking to us about partnering up with another community project or whatever. So we mentioned it to them, and so they're going to donate every donation that they get. Not only will the person get $30, but they're going to donate $10, and we chose the Southwest Virginia Wildlife Rescue.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
So I'm losing my words here, but that the Wildlife Center is a full-service wildlife hospital and rehabilitation facility providing free veterinary care to injured or orphaned wildlife that would otherwise stand no chance of survival. And we're proud of this, but they are also going to have a room down in Berglund Hall, and they're going to bring some of their ambassadors, as they call it, some of the animals
That's
for
great.
people, and they can learn more about that. But the second thing that I want to mention is that we're bringing Screamiverse to Roanoke, and after it's all said and done, this will be the largest horror sci-fi convention in all of Southwest Virginia.
Wow.
There is nothing like it in a 3-hour radius. So it's going to be unique. It's going to be special. So
Sounds
we're
like
proud
it.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? Anything we missed? I know we hit a lot of it
No, I think we've got it.
Okay.
I think we covered it.
for now.
Yeah, we did. Maybe we didn't mention earlier. We did talk about the amount of programming, but we're going to have an author showcase as well.
Yep.
As part of it. So if you are a fan of horror fiction, we have a room dedicated to that where the horror authors that are going to be set up as vendors,
cool.
you can go in and hear about what they're working on, their books, hear about their process. So we're really excited about that. Pretty much anywhere you go in the center, here in the center that day, you're going to find something going on. And yeah, we're just super excited.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah,
I am too.
yeah, Tiffany is jacked.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
And but from and Tiffany, feel free to add when I'm done. But I just wanted to say, like, what you were saying, Dan, about like this isn't just for like the horror, like hardcore people. Like I consider myself like kind of a little bit outside of that, and like some of the activities you guys got, like the movie thing, sounds awesome, and I could just see how that's gonna grow. And like Tiffany said, like these are gonna be like you wouldn't have an opportunity to watch these films, and every single one of these premieres, each of these creators have put so much time and effort into it, and to have all of that under one roof, I mean, just strictly that is probably worth the price of admission, in my opinion. Not to mention all these different things. So I would encourage anybody that's not necessarily deep into it to give it a shot, because I think you guys got something out there for everybody, and I'm really excited to see what happens for this event. I think it's going to be an awesome one.
Me too. And make sure you guys, if you're listening, that you guys check them out on their website, which is Screamiverse.com, right?
Correct.
And then on Facebook and on Instagram, it's Screamiverse Expo. And then especially on Instagram, it's Screamiverse_Expo. So make sure you guys go follow them, keep up with them. They're still announcing vendors and some more fun stuff, even though they already have a great value to the ticket. So make sure if you guys want to come the whole weekend, they have a weekend ticket.
Yep.
They have some add-on classes like the tarot class with Madam Adam that they mentioned. They have I think a spell. It's a
Cork and Conjured.
Yes, yep. So make sure you guys check those out. Those are really cool features to the event too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. Roanoke is super excited. There's nothing like that for people like me here, so I'm super excited about it. And,
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Well, we want to thank you for sharing this opportunity with us and being so gracious with your time. So
thank you.
We thank you.
Yeah, well, we know how passionate you guys are about this, and it was clear from the moment we met you. So we wanted to throw everything we have into it too. So we're rooting for you guys, and if Roanoke wants to see different types of events, we get it in our comments all the time. People asking for rock shows. You got to come support these things, because when somebody takes a risk and puts their neck out on the line, it's hard to do it again if they don't get supported. So we encourage, if you're a fan of this, we're supporting the first one is super important. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys all next month.